Hello everybody and welcome to part 2 of dealing with knots. Here we are in another Richard Head Longbows video. For those of you who haven't seen that first video, perhaps go and take a look at it. I'll put it up on the screen here and you can click on the link once you've had a look at that, pop back. Now for those of you who are bright, you've probably noticed this isn't the same bow that we were working on in that video. Now this is to give us a comparison, because obviously in that video we were dealing with a piece of material which had an awful lot of knots, and therefore to strengthen those areas we had to leave extra bits of wood in. Now that means there's a problem then with tillering, because the more wood in particular areas that you get, the more dense and the less bending that you're going to get in that area with those extra bits of wood there. Now this bow is free from knots, so this is comparatively easy for me to tiller. So that's really why I'm showing you this one first, showing you exactly the same construction. It's the same as the other bow that I was working on. So it's a bamboo backed with a yew belly. It's similar size. It was a 26-inch draw and it's a lightweight bow. It's actually going to be a lady's bow, same as the other bow. So if I draw this one up, this will hopefully give you a good idea of what we're looking at as far as tiller goes. Neither of these bows are 100% complete yet as far as tillering goes. I haven't put the nocks on either of them. There will be some slightly different shape happening once those nocks go on, because I will be reducing the tips down on both of these bows. But hopefully this gives you an idea of what sort of tiller shape that we're looking for. So I'll put the other bow on the bow that we worked on in that original video, the one with all the knots on, and try and give you an idea of what can be achieved even though you've got a slightly more difficult piece of wood to work with. Okay, so this is the bow that we were using in that original video that I made where we were dealing with the knots. As you can see, this top limb has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 knots in there, and only one in the bottom limb. Now that's quite an uneven distribution, and is a good example to be able to show you not only the bow I just showed you, which had no knots in it and was comparatively easy to tiller. This one has lots of knots in one limb and not so many in another, so we're encountering two problems. Not only trying to get around the fact that it's got knots in it, knots where we're having to leave extra material around it to try and support those areas and stop them breaking, but also having to deal with matching up limbs which in absolutely no way do they match as far as the materials that are in them. So as I say, compared to the bow with no knots and then compared to this, there is quite a significant difference. But hopefully this will give you some confidence in having a go yourself with materials that perhaps otherwise you might not want to. As you can see, that top limb, even though it's got lots and lots of knots in it, was still able to achieve a nice even bend. As I say, both of these bows that I'm working on at the moment, the tillering isn't 100% complete. I've yet to put the nocks on, so the overall shape will change. But as you can see, I'm pretty happy with the way this looks now. It's a piece of material that I haven't had to waste. Alright, it's taken me longer to work on it, but as you know, the price of you and the availability of decent materials means that this is at least something I'm able to turn into a bow. So hopefully that's been of use. Hopefully you can see the I was going to say difference, but similarities between the bend that we're able to achieve with this that has lots of knots and one where the materials are good and clean. As I say, hopefully that gives you the confidence to give it a go yourself. Maybe you've got a piece of wood that you set aside, perhaps well, just weren't going to use. Give it a go. As I say, like all these things, it takes practice and experience. As I say, for those of you who haven't watched that other video, give that a watch and you'll be able to see the methods and the types of tools I use, and a more in-depth explanation of why we're leaving those areas of support around the knots that are in the limb there. I hope that's been of use. Rate us, like and subscribe if you'd be so kind. If you want to see more videos on bow making, then obviously subscribing is a good idea, and also give us a shout if there's something you want to see that you think we haven't covered yet. Then drop us a line, put it in the comment section below, or simply message us. knots, the bane of a bowyer's life, but they don't have to be. Let's take a look at some of the ways you can deal with them that will hopefully give you a bit more confidence in working with wood that has knots. With the stave cut out, I'm now at the roughing out stage and can start identifying knots and pins.